someone to save. I wanna tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. I wish you all the best I can, and I stop myself for a while. I'm saying things I don't believe. The panic's rising up in you. Oh, won't you tell me something new? Don't you think for the people the best we find back myself a little sooner than this? Don't you think for the people the best we find back myself a little sooner than this? Don't you wish I would have been someone else? I want to feel your death without making a mess at you. Oh, won't you tell me something new? I want to tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. Don't you think for the people the best we find back myself a little sooner than this? Don't you think for the people the best we find back myself a little sooner than this? Don't you wish I would have been someone else? I want to feel your death without making a mess at you. Oh, won't you tell me something new? Wish you all the best I can, then I stop myself for a while.
Chase your tail light. I'll be under your skin, letting you go for a while. Then I'm taking you in. Your fists like diamonds, glimmer and punch. Shiny predator with a golden gun. Space age girl machine. Space age girl machine. Space age girl machine.
It's nothing like a creepy clown to make you feel right at home.
Thought you lost me, but I'm behind. I'm 30
Bring out your dead, please. There's something about that cowbell. It just makes me feel so happy and so just warm and tingly inside. Love that cowbell. Get your cowbell at your nearest Tractor Supply today. Thank you.
Space age girl machine.
That's a sign for help. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please allow me to introduce you to the creepy dude we call Road Dog.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you very much.
Meow. Meow, meow. Welcome everyone to Late Night Crypto with Road Dog. My name is Lane. We're taking a look at Bitcoin, breaking this trend line here, that red line that we've got drawn in here. And, you know, this one was giving it a little wiggle room. We'll tighten it up a little bit with those candle bodies. On the daily chart, kind of a big deal for me with that candle, losing the 9 moving average. Flirting with losing this 200 moving average, which fought so hard for so long, for so many days over the past 2 weeks, just to break above. Now, we're not totally behind on it yet, because we can still close above it and have a little candle above it like this with a wick or something. We could be looking at the scenario like that, but still, we broke the trend line, so chances are we're probably coming down to some of these little fine areas. Ichimoku Cloud kind of likes this area about 59.5. I don't know. Could happen. Always could happen. She's been saying that for a long time, but we, you know, this is as close as we did to hang out there. Maybe here. This green line is a 382 Fibonacci retracement from our swing low to swing high right there. That's where I'm looking at. Any strong trend that we're on should be bouncing right there. That would be the little sweet spot we're looking for right now. Come down to a smaller time frame, such as the 4 hour, to see what's going on here. And we're coming down in the middle of this cloud, that green cloud there. And that's usually not the greatest sign to look for, but you know, we got a 100 moving average here that we're finding a little bit of support on. There's some good signs to be seen here. 200 crossing a 360 moving average. So we got some smaller moving averages actually bullishly crossing some other ones. It's bigger on for the bigger scale of things. Doesn't necessarily help us out right now at the moment. One could argue that this 800 moving average is being a strong sign of support here on the 4 hour. Might it continue? I mean, anything could happen. It's held before. It's like, oh, that's gonna be it, Helen. Calling her quits, and then we took off. So we've seen some crazier things happen there. Ultimately, you know, when we kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture, we got 800, 600, 300, 200, even though these are doing something kind of funky right now. You know, they're flipped upside down, so the momentum is a little shifting to the downside on the bigger moving averages. So we do have a little kind of a downward current at the moment, trying to maybe suck us into it a little bit and drag us down to these areas. Lower 60,000 could probably happen. Breaking the trend line is another thing that that could probably be it, dude. Might be it. This little area that we marked out here, 66.5, that 1.13 Fibonacci area that we could reverse from. Maybe our top. There was part of me thought, well, we might get that little gusto and just come back up there and make that little bit higher high, and maybe even, we got ballsy to the week. Maybe come up and go a little bit above 70, see if we can knock out that high. That would have been great. But as great as it is just to make a higher high than what we had over here when we had the Batman and Bat Ear things going on over here that dumped us down to 52,000 again, which it wasn't fun. It's pretty good if you're planning for it and taking advantage of it, but it's still never fun to see portfolios drop 20-30%, and you're like, geez. So we headed that way again, doing something like that. These were great areas to start paying yourself, take profits. This was a sign that, hey man, probably need to have taken some profit, whether on your altcoins or something other. Bitcoin starts going down, altcoins start going down with it, and we'll take a look at total 3 right here. And right after I do this little measure move here, we'll take that little measure move. It says that we could be coming down possibly right here. 60,500. We'll mark that little guy. This dotted line is just a trend line that kind of just connecting candle bodies to candle bodies on this time frame. It's a shot in the dark. It's only got 2 touches. It's a weak ass trend line, but it's coming in right around an area where we could be finding some confluence. So I'm just tracking that idea. So that's all that is. But I do kind of like, yeah, I mean, it is an angle from up here, and it touches the swing high, you know, before we can, and the bottom of it is a swing low. Lays pretty nicely on top of our top here, and then lays really nicely on top of the candle bodies right there. So a nice little channel idea that we may be in. Also gives us confluence. This 200 moving average, 360 moving average area, 60,500-ish right there, measure move area, bottom of the trend line-ish. And this whole little area could be a sweet spot of where we might find a strong reversal. We need to keep our eyes peeled at this point and see what kind of bounce we get. But if we do bounce from this point, it could be a nice move further up to the upside. And that's what we kind of expect from where we are right now as far as price goes and this time in the cycle. Anything below that would probably get us around 58,000. It's on the table. Then we start losing some critical areas that we reclaimed, and don't really want to see that happen. Go through that drama, that baby mama drama. Don't need it. Don't need it. Let's just keep on let's just keep on pumping out the cheddar. Let's don't go through the drama. Got enough drama in crypto as it is, right? Or we did this time last year. So shout out to everybody who's hanging out with me tonight. Well, let's say hello. Switch this over to live chat so I can get all of them. We got Mr. Miles who's first. Now he can die happy. Hey, we got Trey Spot. What's up, my man? Sam Webb. Brackus Adventures. Strega. What's up, Strega? Road Dawg, Shilling CoinEX, and BitUnix, and the Tangem wallet. I love my Tangem wallets, man. I got two sets of them. You can save 10% off just using code word DAWG, D-A-W-G. 3-card set normally runs you $69, be $62.91 with the 10% off code. That's one way that can help benefit you and also benefit the channel. Just throwing that out there. Besides, all the cool kids have them. You do need an NFC enabled phone. If you got a newer phone, you should be just fine. So Bitcoin, you coming down? Coming down. What about Total 3? What's Total 3 doing? This is Total 3 on the 4-hour. This is the same thing, trend line we got here. Total 3 could be coming down, retest this 800 moving average. 800, 600, 300, they're flipped the wrong way, but man, price just said, hey man, I want to switch things up on you. And got the other moving average flip-flopping over them. It's looking kind of cool. Trying to influence and reverse things. If you're zooming out on this, you know, you got a breakout of a falling wedge pattern. Awesome ones coming back and retesting this area here. If you're looking at a W, it's retesting the neckline. We could bounce there. We could come down a little further. I think we're coming down a little bit further right now. What I am anticipating, and you know, is it when do you need to buy altcoins? Well, I would say you need to zoom out on Total 3. And we got this higher high here. Now we may continue on up on Total 3. That's highly doable. Total 3, we may see a little more upside in altcoins. And that's cool. But up around here about 666 billion, I think that's going to kind of end just a little bit. And that'll probably give us our 1, 2, 3 hump and then a dump. Just a little shorthand there. So I think we can get a pullback and still see a little bit more of a bump up. But then there will be a much bigger pullback, and I anticipate we could be retesting this area back here about 590 billion, losing a little bit. Maybe lower, I don't know. This may be about a month or so away. I'm not really quite sure. Depends on what Bitcoin does right now. But the next major pullback that we get, now that we are starting to trade trends, we got a higher high or a higher low, and we got a higher high. The very next higher low that we find and bounce, even if we come down and bounce off a trend line like this, which we could, probably will, that's when we need to start looking at loading up. So a little patience, and then a nice little pullback will be coming our way with Bitcoin and altcoins, and that will be the time to really make sure that you're all in. We still got some time, in my personal opinion. They still got time to start shaking us out, making you think you're missing out on it and you're buying too high, and then they'll bring prices back down and you're like, oh crap, I bought too high. So let's take a look at some things that are looking kind of good. Prime. We don't have to be on CoinEx. We can go to, there we go to CoinEx. Oh Lord, you got a noisy chart over here. What's happened? We picked the wrong one to go to, didn't we? This one's been out of the picture for a while here. We can take a fresh look. Fresh look says 200 moving average. There'll be some resistance coming in about $13 right there. Do some quick Fibonacci analysis just to figure out where we are in this thing. Oh, cool. We're above that area. We're above our discount zone. So yeah, next target is going to be $3 to 367, 368 area for Prime, Echelon Prime. Our document this like too simple. It can be as simple or as difficult as you want it to be, but I'm telling you, this Fibonacci system is awesome. All right, so 1919 is one of the main targets we want to be kind of keeping our eye on. That's the one that's worth waiting for, in my personal opinion. A lot of people can take profits before then. 16, 14. This is, it may not, you know, it's not going to be a straight up shot. You make, when I put these Fibonacci areas up here, sometimes, you know, it may take a long time for them to even get up there. It might just come right up there and not get it, and then you have to get it. You know, it could be anything like that, or sometimes they just blast through. You don't know. But it's a great, but most of the time they will come up there to it, maybe test it one or two times, and then come back for a retest. That's the typical. It's an area that's worth waiting for. A lot of people will be shorting there, selling there. It's a great place to take profit if you're trying to maximize your profits, that is, and get 65% versus getting just 13%. So it is those kind of ideas. So looking on the daily for Prime, looks like we broke up above this area here. You can see whatever kind of pattern you want to see here, any kind of reversal type pattern, head and shoulders, whatever. We've gotten past this Fibonacci line, retested it. It's time for number to go up, baby. Let's look at these indicators here on the daily. It's like, money flow in the green, stochastics pointing up, everything's starting to point back to the upside. Prime looks pretty sweet. Take a look at the MACD. She's got the, I can't call it duck lips because it didn't come close enough. Looks like a snake with an open mouth. It looks like a viper trying to go eat. Looks like we might be curving up here on the daily. So Prime looks like it wants to do some stuff. Let's take a look at the 4 hour, smaller time frame. Is she got a setup that's getting ready to take off right now? Oh, looks like she's breaking out right now. Okay, changes things, breaking out on the 4 hour. Confirmed. All right, so you've we gotta go to 4 hour. It was a 6 hour. Confirmed. So the rules of the game, if you're going by the rules, you know, the more conservative rules for breakout trading is you wait for the breakout and then you wait for the second candle, which it's already taken off without you right here. Again, after you do breakout trading for a while, you finally think, what happens if I start buying at the bottom of the trend line instead of when it breaks out? That's how I found myself here, but I was like, I started getting a little bit better results most of the time. That's a nice strong ass breakout here happening for Prime. This is not the place to jump in at $11 after she just left 10.58. You're kind of almost a day late and $1 short. Or an hour late and $1 short. To be more specific. Be more Pacific. You being too much Atlantic. She's got a nice strong trend line bouncing right there. Well, you know, if you wanted to be the risky guy in the house there, but she just made a higher high. She is next to this. If you wanted to FOMO in on the 15-minute, at least you're close to a trend line. That's all I got to say. At least you got some risk to reward ratio going on here. You know, we can get a really tight stop loss, like anything below that trend line would be like what you would have to do. That's still like 2% underneath that candle. That would, you know, you might get something there. Look, it's a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio just to go to 12.55 from right here. You make 6% on this whole move. FOMOing in when you could have got it at 10.50. Just saying. Next higher high to get past would be $12.47. Can't you do it? That is not an official trade setup, my friends, but I'm just trying to help you rationalize your Degens. If you FOMO'd in just now, I was like, well, at least you know we can say, hey, you can set a tight stop loss just in case it don't work out. Because it does look like she wanted to do something right now. Look at you. Getting all nice and steamy. Where you going? Where you, man? You been drinking? She appears to be wanting to come up here to $11.95. If she's feeling rambunctious, if she's feeling sexy and up to doing something kind of sneaky tonight, which she might be. She looks like she might be on the prowl there. The area at 1221 might be peeking its head into the equation, but hey, I don't know, man. You got to keep your eye on this one. She's a little bit sneaky. I think she might be up to doing something, sneaking out of the house tonight. She's got her mindset on something. That's crazy how you got the sell signal, you pop off. You had the death cross right here. Bum, bum, bum. 50 cross to 200, man. It's all over. Sell, man. That one kind of lied. That one just flat out lied to you, man. That one just flat out it just spit in your face and lied to you. And said it was raining. Nice little pump there. Let's check out Banana. I've got a little moon bag of this. We talk about it every once in a while, and I meant to buy some more when we were down low, but I didn't. I was too worried about this other stuff I had going on to really concentrate on it. Don't know what we all got going on back over here. Trade setup that went up somewhere. Got up to $62 most recently, and now we're not. Swing out to swing low. Tell me where you're going to go. Oh, baby, look at you. You headed back to $52, looks like. Go, baby. It's your birthday. You can do it. You're just getting started, too. Look at this. Nice little trend line forming here, and then came back and solidified it right there after deviating from it a little bit. So we got kind of a channel, or we do have a channel, not kind of. It's there. It just depends on how wide it's going to be right now. So if we can travel, and this guy bounce ping pong off the sides of it, make our way up to about $52. Might get a bit of a rejection there, might get a lot of rejection there. Might find a little bit of rejection sooner. She has been up at 48, but I think $51.96, $52 is on the table. Could be expected. It's what I'd be looking for. Look at this nice little bottom shape. You had a bottom over here and you come back to make a double bottom, but then you got this little bridgey shape going on, and that's what I call it. It's a scallop pattern that comes down. Sometimes they come higher, sometimes they come lower, but I always like to see that when I'm at the bottom. I always welcome that. I say, oh, you got a rounding shape down here? Most of the time when you see rowdy shapes, well, they bounce back to the upside, so I like them. I'm always looking for those little old bridges. They look like those old medieval bridges or something. Or maybe I expect some kind of boat to be coming out, like the little dudes over in Paris. You know, the little dudes with the big stick and the hat, and they got the pole in the water. I got off subject, I know. It's just what I see on the chart sometimes. So anyway, this W pattern that we got here instantly suggests that $63 is also back on the table for us to go up to. And then eventually after that confirms, if we're kind of planning ahead here a little bit, you got a measure move that we just double up on. That is how that works. And that takes us up to this 2 area. And that's about $95. Could be a nice little hopeful target. Some other hopeful ways we can get some bigger targets, but she's on her way up from being at the bottoms, which is important because we want to buy the bottoms and sell the topses, and the topses are going to be closer to $100 than they are right now. That was a very winded way to say that, Road Dog. And also look at this way. If you want to kind of squint your eyes, at least you got 2 touches there. Okay, there you got that idea. That's got a nicer channel idea that was holding in a few areas. And if you wanted to, you can, and I would highly suggest that you might consider this idea of taking that measure move as a guideline as to where you might be able to go. And it suggests that we're headed up to $54, and I'm going to mark that little guy right now with this little template I got. It says measure move, make life easy on me. It says measure move right there. I'm going to go ahead and move this target right up there to that area because I erased my Fibonacci's like an idiot. Pull them back down again so I don't feel as stupid, and mark that 618 because that was our main target to begin with, right? This is just a little bonus target that we can throw in the mix in case we just want a little bonus money, because it's all about making that money, or at least making that money to buy more Bitcoin is how I'm trying to look at it. Bitcoin keeps going up though. Dang it, Bitcoin! I love you. I need you to go up, but I need you to be cheap at the same time. How can we solve this problem? It never writes me back. Here's a trend line that we broke out of and one that we could retest, and that's back about $44. However you want to look at this thing and how many shoulders and heads you want to imagine that's on it, the main thing is you got a nice solid trend line and we broke above it, and it's probably a big deal. We can probably start going up a little bit more on banana. Woo! What you guys got going on? Casey Barnum says, help, I bought a micro ether 1 contract, only $30 risk, but I am just starting to FOMO. Sounds like you're like on something like Prime XBT or something like that. Maybe something that does more 4X, or maybe just has a little bit of crypto in it. Not like a full-fledged crypto exchange. Is the way I'm reading that. Okay. I mean, it all works out. I just, if I knew what chart you're looking on exactly, because I pull up an ETH chart and you got micro ether 1 contract. It might come out, you know, our charts might look kind of different or be based kind of different. Can we do micro? Do they have? We got to go to all the micro ether CMP. Okay, so like so EEM, would that be it, or would it be MET? I'm gonna look at. Maybe you said and I just didn't notice. Now I just lost it. How did I lose it? I just micro ether contract. I'm gonna look at this as micro ether contract here. This has no price history. Micro ether futures. That was EEM. Let's try MET. Oh, look, more price history. It makes a little bit more sense. So it should just follow Ethereum's price, I think. So it's just going to be. Did you FOMO in? Well, you probably. Let's see. There's some resistance there. She may be getting a little cheaper, but I don't know what the. I don't know if there's any leverage or anything over there. I would say there was some FOMO involved, but it's not the worst place. Let's see. Let's break this down. Okay, got that. I would say that this could probably go in your favor right now, actually. let's do a little something here. Well, if it were me, you see, you're in a futures contract. There's a chance he may pull back to 25.54 in that area. I mean, I don't see it so much here. Let's see what we got. I'm not. No. 800. I'm not seeing it so much right now. There's a good chance here on the 1 hour, bouncing off the 200 moving average. It made a higher high and what looks to be a higher low right here, so that's cool. So now we got a little bit of a trend line, or not a little bit, why are you saying a little bit? We got a trend line that seems to be respected. This is my take on it. This would be a good idea if I were looking at this as a trade set up from where we are right now. I think you can get up to 28.78, that area. Call me crazy, but I do. And I think a stop loss going right below this candle over here. You're below the trend line, and then you got the little extra cushion below the 200 moving average and that trend line. So a stop loss right below that, because if price comes down lower than that one, you give it up. This idea of it hitting here is not happening in most cases. So that would be 26.20 would be a good stop loss, and we're currently at 20. What? No, what? Whoa. No, 25.84 would be a decent stop loss. Let's adjust that. And I've got us right now at current price at 26.21. That actually gives me a really good risk reward ratio, but I always try to get good risk reward ratios. Now, she may not. This is a bigger target. There are some other shorter ones you can go with, like especially right up here, 27.53. If you go right up to where we had been, that's a 3.5 to 1 risk reward ratio. That's great. That's where most people would be looking. Me, I kind of like to go for these little targets because I think that's where she's headed. She's headed right up here if you got patience for it. So you got lots of targets in between, betwixt and around. Most notable targets that you can look for right now, shorter term. Should you not want to go with the big dog, with a big 9% gains there, you can go up here to about 26.88, 27.19ish. Those look good. And just to get a little bit of a higher high there, 27.76. Just my take on it. That's how I would look at it. But stop loss would be, you need a stop loss here because you are buying toward the tops. It looks like we got lucky with the fib area that we're reclaiming. This is out of the discount zone, so we got a chance to come up and tap this other guy or even higher. It don't have to stop up here, but you can make your money, and that's what it's about. Turn the futures just in there short term anyway. Dream Tanks, let's go. Sam Webb says number go down. Oh, number just keeps going wherever it wants to go. I've not seen that emoji before. Sam Webb says Bitcoin dominance losing the 9. Is it? What time frame is that? Bitcoin dominance. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? We need to take a look at that one too. Yep, I did it on the daily for sure. That's a nice sign up here, so we may be seeing that play out as a... It's hard to tell because it's wicked through most of the trend line, but that was pretty meaty move right there. But it came back into the pattern, and it's got a good chance of breaking this red line and coming down here and maybe even further, so cool. especially being below the 9, just lost the 50. Yeah, baby, it's time to get a little bit deeper pullback there. That should help the altcoins a little bit. So people getting a little scared of Bitcoin at its tops. It made a new higher high, and I guess some of the smarter people are saying, maybe I'll sell out. Well, let's put it in altcoins right now, and looks like a lot of it's going into meme coins, to be honest with you. So a few good projects are still doing pretty good. Now, Sui is still hanging in there. She's up at 184 now. It looks like she's going to 198, I guess. Token unlock coming tomorrow, and be interesting to see how that plays out. It's a clip unlock. It's a pretty sizable token unlock. So will they hold it, or will they just say, my bags be pumping right now. I want to take some profits, because we're almost up to where we were when we were exactly up to where we were in February after the big pump. And we were down, SPI was at 33 cents, went up to 187. And now these people with the token unlocks have had it for a long time, and it was probably even a lot cheaper than 33. So they probably making a pretty penny and ready to take some profit at this point in the market. I'm just throwing these ideas out there. I'm not seeing it on the cloud, though. I would really expect to see this on the cloud on the bigger time frame. I'm not. Cloud looks pretty bitchin'. Are there any other signs? Maybe for some reason. The token unlocks can be scary. And I sold out of my Aptos bag before a big token unlock and anticipating for it to come down, and it didn't. It just kept on going. So yeah, I screwed that one up. I sold at $4 and something, and it went all the way up to 20. I'm like, well, don't you feel like an idiot? So if Sui wants to keep on going, I guess we need to do a price prediction, and I'm looking at two very great little target areas at 242 and 266. And that's just the, we could go up to 327. I can't personally see that happening, but hey, that's just me. That's interesting. Oh, that is really interesting there. Looks like she may have recovered a major trend line right here. If so, then we got this thing going on here. And that does say, wow. Sweet, have I misjudged you? Should I not be shorting you right now? Do you still got some stuff? Are you going past $2? I don't see how you're going to do it unless, you're just really got people sold on you. You got lots of new suckers, really. Not that it's a bad thing, but you got new customers. You got some new money coming in. Maybe it's the Chinese money like it. It would make sense as a Chinese named coin. China just unleashed a lot of liquidity. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe she's gonna keep on pumping. I think it's interesting she broke back in this trend line. That might change things. I was trying to... She's got to come back, man. She's got to do... But if she's breaking in the trend line, shoot, and hangs out here for a minute, she might get even more bullish and then come back. That's a hellish... Look at all that volume. That's crazy. Money flow still going in. MACD still on the weekly, still just ready to rip it. Maybe I misjudged you, Swee. She should get a pullback, at least something about $2, if not just a little bit, to kind of get a chance to catch a breath and figure out what's going on. But you got to take a reconsider this now after seeing what we saw here. That might change things. I started a small free bag, and that little bag has grown quite a bit. I did it on 3x leverage over on spot margin, and I think I just threw about $100 in, and ups and downs and whatnot, and it got kind of sizable, and then I had to cut it down. I don't know anyway, but it turned into quite a bit, or more than what I started with, a lot more than what I started with. Bantam is another one that's looking kind of beefy, kind of like she's got a lot more she's wanting to do and say here. Boy, you look cluttered. So I'm on the weekly here. MACD also just now getting started. Baby, the party's just now starting to pump. Doesn't mean we can't go ups and down and have pullbacks and whatnot. 86 cents and $1.02. Two main areas I'm looking for. We got a couple of measured moves at 81 cents and $1.08. One of those is the inverted head and shoulders that we got here. If you can see it through all these crazy lines I've got drawn. Can we move some of the lines? These lines in here are the moving averages, and they look very strong. So in the bigger moving averages, I'll turn those off. We're above the 200, above the 9 here on the daily. Looks gorgeous. FTM, man. I mean, when are you going to get it? You got a good... Listen, this pattern here has a very high chance for a retest back at 53 cents. Now, you may not see it now. It may not. It may be after we hit it may be after we hit 80 cents. I don't know, but it usually happens. There's about 64% chance that it comes right back here. As much of a chance that it has to break out to the upside, it's got a good that much chance to come back and retest this area. So if you're wanting to get a better deal on SWE, be patient. It should be a coming. We will be able to pull back in altcoins at some point. What would suck is if you start chasing candles and buying at 72, 78, buying it at 80 cents, and then you find yourself back at 50, 58, and so, you suck, road dog. My bag, you just had to buy it. My bag's only worth $50 now. And I'm like, no. That's not how you do it. Big Fallen Wedges says that we can get up to $1.08 on FTM, so I would listen to that. That's one of my most favorite patterns to trade right there. I haven't seen enough of them yet in this market yet, but they're coming. They'll start showing their heads, but man, you find a falling wedge. It's great if you can buy next to the bottoms if you can and just be patient. But even if you catch them late and catch them on the breakouts, most of the time they'll do pretty good. Sometimes they're a little lackluster with the breakouts. Sometimes it happens, but usually 68% of the chance that it will break to the upside, and that's actually true on that one. Actually is true on that one. Too bad some people use that same percentage for every pattern they talk about. Tells me that they're guessers and not studiers, so take that for what you will. Look, a breakout of I and J. Is that what we got going on? That is a crappy trend line if I've ever seen one, road dog, but it kind of matches up angle-wise, so we got to go with what we got, and it suggests that, hey man, might be coming up here. Let's go ahead and mark that. We got a breakout. Measurement 41.44. I'm cool with that. Go for it. Do it. As it is written, so shall it be done. Make it happen. Write it up, baby. Right now, we're going to have a headache trying to get past this 200 moving average on the daily for INJ, and that's coming at $24.47. Struggling with these areas, so listen, man, this one right here, I'm going to get rid of all this craziness down here. Look at was this a trade setup? I think we moved it. I think I probably moved it out of the way. Nailed it. The obligatory nailed it comment. Let's do a quick check here that I didn't have my screen pulled up enough to get to the top. Top, bottom. Okay, that's what I wanted to see is this little guy. I want to change these lines around. I'm just gonna get rid of that one altogether. I just go ahead and put me a big fat horizontal. So we should be headed toward $28. A few little targets in between, but basically we're headed toward that area. Seems like we got a lot of confidence over here between 618 and 786, or even that 786 area. This whole little zone here, 39 to 45, seems to be where most things are pointing. If you can be patient enough to hold I and J until we get back to the $40-something, well, that's After a breakout, that's what we try to do, right? 70, 87% gains for the patient. 3% for the impatient. You make $1 million 3% at a time. You just gotta do it 10 times a day, is what they keep telling you. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm catching something. A lot of upsy down action here. A lot of noise right there. I and J. She's getting past this area, clearing that will be great for more upside. Hopefully you've already got your bags packed from it. Otherwise, you're trying to buy at the clearance of this neckline, which is a strategy. That's a legitimate break-in, but that's buying the tops. You need to have a tight stop loss, about 22.20 or something like that. And who knows, you might even still get stopped out on that kind of buy it high to sell higher. Some people do. They wait for this as a confirmation. They wait for this to confirm you get a higher high, and sometimes they'll jump in right there at the higher high. Personally, I think you should wait for the higher low, because that's usually where you find yourself in the middle of like, oh crap, you didn't stick. I'm like, well, that was a high, wasn't it? It was a higher high. What usually comes after that? Here's one that sucks right now. It's called Leash. Oh Lord, I can't even find it in here. What is it? Oh goodness gracious. Trying to. Here we go. How about Crypto.com? It's got it. How about Coinbase? You don't even have no Coinbase? Why are we even looking at this, man? Why? Take a look at Crypto.com. Sometimes their numbers are a little higher than what you might see on other exchanges. It's something called slippage and whatever. It's still a good exchange. Oh, look, she went up and then she came all the way freaking back down on the 4-hour candles. Guess we got to zoom out on this one. Leash is at the bottoms of the bottoms again, not just once but twice. She likes it down here. She got slammed down here with the 200 moving average. Might be a buy if you're a risk taker at 285 because she was just at 415. I missed it. For real. Dang, man, come on. Hard to tell what we got going on here. So with these, okay, that looks like a candle top or a body. I'm going to go with that because the wick's too high. And that somehow seems to make more sense. 418, yeah, you tested that area. We got to get back up there. I missed that. Should have had an order set there or something. Gosh darn it. Opportunity cost. 525. Ooh, 698 looks sweet, but when she gets going, she gets it going. So, and she ran all the way up to like 1700 no mode in up here, and then it came all the way back down to $400, $200. Like, oh shoot. What happened? You were going to the moon, and it did, and came back and left you stranded. Or left some people stranded, not necessarily you. But she's having a bad day, which could be somebody's good day if they get it at the right time, and are interested in getting it at the right time. And it may take her a while to kind of figure things out. So just gotta throw those ideas out there. Adam says, thinking about getting into Rose. Let's take a look at Rose. So she's at resistance right now. Another kind of falling wedge pattern, so we like that. It's squeezing, price is squeezing. Whether she breaks out now or she comes back to retest this area at 70 cents, not too far away. Hard to say right now, but Ichimoku Cloud kind of hints that maybe there might be a pullback and then a little breakout. Or maybe she's soon to go for it here. Trend line, now this trend line has, been going on since she was 48 cents. She's almost doubled up. Could be a pullback. This is the 72 on the trend line. If it buy close to the trend line, it would be cool. if she breaks the trend line and then finding the new bottom would be cool. I do think altcoins will get another pullback at some point over these next week or two. So this one might also get cheaper at that point too, but if not, there's lots of times. The breakout would be the big thing. If it does break out of here, I mean, according to your risk tolerance, whether you get in, you know, it'll go up, and then it usually has a retest of the breakout area, and that would be when a lot of people buy. And doesn't have to look like this. Sometimes it goes up there and then comes back for a retest. So it's sometimes with breakout trading, it goes up and then it comes back in the pattern and cleans everybody out, does their stop losses, and then takes off without you. That's bullish as all get out. If that ever happens, you probably want to immediately get back into that coin. But you'll see all kinds of tricks go on when this market starts getting really bullish and they're getting ready to do something. You're going to see stop loss hunts go, and that's a good sign. That's what you need to look for the market before it starts getting ramped up. They're going to start pulling some dirty tricks. They're going to start dipping below trend lines and then popping back up. You're going to see a lot of little things, lots of little bear traps and things like that happening right before we start taking a lot of heartbeat patterns where they flush things out. And when we start seeing those happen, especially on smaller time frames, and then we can get to yeah, they're getting ready to make a move here. Those are market makers getting ready to do something right there. So we're going to keep an eye on that kind of stuff too. It will start happening here. We're in October. I wouldn't doubt that we're going to start looking for it now. So far, everything still looks good. Just above the 200 on the 1 hour. So, I mean, on the bigger picture of things, you're getting in at the bottom, and it's been a while since she's been up to these higher areas, about 50 cents. Where's she at right now? 7 cents? But she was up at 18. We got targets up at 26. That's at least 2 to 3x, and maybe she gets up to some other areas that she got to before. I don't know yet. It's too early to tell if they're going to, you know, make a higher high than what they did last cycle, because we're still in really, really bottom territory right now for a lot of these altcoins. Too early to tell on that. Some of them will, so a lot of them will not, though. So we got to get ready for that. Some of them won't see those same highs because, well, one thing, projects, you know, they get older and forgotten about. Other things, so many coins out there taking attention away and spreading that money around. Some other factors. So those are things we got to consider too with some of these coins. But she can definitely, looks like she can get up to 36. Not bad. She's getting ready to look at the weekly is ready to rock. Look at the MACD says ready to do it. She's already flipped, already crossed. Early signs saying she's ready to break out. So let's go back to the 4 hour here. So maybe 70 cents anywhere through here. Anywhere through here, I think, is, considering where she's going. Doesn't matter if you get it 6.5 cents or 7.5 cents. Yeah, when you're going to sell it at 28, 36 cents. It all turns out pretty good in the end, if that's a longer play. Gotta do my timer or else I'll go too long. Casey Barnum says plus 500. Lol. Thank you. Hey, you're welcome. Sam Webb says Casper to 14 cents. Man, I've been seeing that for a while, and I've been saying it, and it's not been very popular. And then, you know, I'm looking on the chart, and I'm like, I think so. I'm getting kind of nervous about Casper because I got some margin on it, and I don't want to see it come down to 9 cents. And I'm thinking she might be able to come down to 9 cents. I don't know. I don't want to play that game if she does. But yeah, I do see 14. I've been seeing the 14s for a while, and that's been in general with the trend line here. And I know it's up here. It's like, oh, that'll probably never happen for Casper. But we're getting ready to break out and go. And it did look at it. And she's breaking trend lines and being here at 17.3 looks good. But then some things started happening. It's the MACD that was really cluing me in. because that does not look bullish like we're ready to pop to 20 cents. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It looks like, yeah, we got a little bit of something going on here. So I'm guessing that I don't know, man. I don't know if the Caspa memes have something to do with it too. I would say on one end, on some other end, there's going to be people that profit in Caspa, and they will probably, since we're sitting here at 17 cents, decent profit taking area for Caspa, especially if you're rolling over your bags or something on Caspa memes, and you know, some people, there'll be some people that may need to take Caspa and go trade the memes or whatever. I'm just speculating. So I'm doing speculating, not judging, just speculating. They need to buy some, and maybe that will help with pressure. But a lot of people have already been sitting on some Caspa, so I got all this extra Caspa. Let's just throw it in there. So may not be all that. There may be some more sell pressure from people wanting to take profits than there are people trying to pump. I don't know. We got kind of some dynamics going on here. I'm just wondering. But she's been stale for a while, and she will be for, you know, there's a lot of coins here. But I do see 14 cents possibly coming into the picture, and hopefully this trend line will hold. If it doesn't, then yeah, we're looking at possibilities coming back to 9-10 cents. Don't want to hear it, but it's true. It could happen. That this is starting to get tired, and that's a little concerning. But for the moon boys out there, you know, we're at the bottom of the trend line. This might be a very complex head and shoulder pattern. We could be bouncing out of this real green box area, not really make it down to 14. Even if we do wick down to 14, that would still be all right for this. So there's this kind of, it's called a complex head and shoulders, and we don't have a good neckline here for this one, so I'm wondering about it. All we got is just coming down here, so I got that. Technically, I would be looking at it more like this. And that's got a good range of play in it, so. Caspa, all I can say is she could be, she should be coming down for a little bit. Not to scare anybody, but you know, the weekly BMC here just flashed up a red dot there. Now she's got money flow in the green, and that's good. Stochastics can come down. See, this looks like she can come back down for a little bit. Hopefully it's a quick bounce. I don't know. Testing Crypto says muted. Says I got my mic on though. Let me get a mic check. Can you hear me or not? Vegas says we're good. All right. Well, guys, this is 10:58. I think we started right at 10 o'clock. Been going for about an hour, trying to get these streams down for about an hour. I'm going to quickly go through a few more coins here. Big Time was another one I do want to stop by, because she was up and then now she seems to be down. Let's get back to a smaller time frame where it makes sense. Here it is on the 4 hour. So she did nice going parabolically, and then, oh look, it's a flag to the upside, and then it's not. And then she breaks a trend line. So here, trend line, that's a break of market structure. No more higher highs, higher lows. Now we're starting to worry on lower lows. So we got that idea going on just for right here. The best, always best to zoom out to just really kind of be more accurate. We got this little guy going on. It looks like she can come down just a wee bits. So it's going to get her wee beaters in. Look, a cup and handle to the upside, or to the double top to the down. And then how does that help? If I'm sitting here giving you two scenarios, I mean, look, this could be a cup and handle up, or it's a double top. Oh no, it's got a double top. I'm right both ways, right? It could be a double top. It's not yet confirmed until it breaks below this price at 11.9. It is not a cup and handle because it screwed that up by coming down too low on the handle-ish, if you're looking for that. And really, cup and handles can be continuation patterns. At least it came from the bottom. I will give you that. Didn't quite make it up here to make a great lip, but hey, man, that handle's too far down. Here's a little cheat thing. If you go from swing low to swing high and your cup and handle comes below that 618, it's probably not going to work out for you. Okay. Some people argue even higher than that. The rule of thumb is if it comes down more than 66% from the lip, then she's not going to play out, and that's according to Eugene O'Neill, who the founder, if you will, of the cup and handle. So big time looks like she could be coming down. Bellows another one's also getting losing a little love today. What do you got going on here? Weird ass trend line, whatever. We got to adjust for this now. You still look like you're okay. Bello just had a bad couple of days coming down from, was it almost 2 cents? She's at 1.7 now. Still respecting, well, we had to adjust our trend line, but just still respecting that major trend line. Kind of just fleshed it out a little bit. That looks actually kind of good for Bello. TRB, I am not in TRB at all. I don't even think I'm in Bello. Looks like we might be coming down just a wee bit more, or maybe finding some support where we are. We could, right here at 66. Or we'll come on down to 64, but we got a good chance of bouncing off of this area, so that looks cool. I think this one can recover from that, in my personal opinion. Keep in mind, this is one of these fun megaphone patterns, so if we bounce from here, they could get a nice higher high. $83 or $88. Confirm this double bottom pattern over here at 81. That would be sweet for TRB, so she might be getting ready to do something pop up here pretty soon. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. Be careful. We'll take one last quick look at Bitcoin. It's hanging out at 63,400. What's she doing? She's finding support on the 100 moving average so far. She did break a trend line. She is in danger of coming down a little bit. So you might see what we call a retest and then a rollover. That could happen. Might be some relief for some of you just to get out of some positions or something, whatnot. Could be looking for that. This did qualify as a top, and if we break a trend line, then maybe we'll get a pull back a little earlier. I was hoping we would come up just a little bit more. Don't always get what you want, but you always get what you need. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. See you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Come on, come here, bud. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze. Every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth, was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind. Unpredictable.
I am not a cat.
Wife, you know you're begging for my notice. Promise you're the same. Running for the meds. Show you like my vibe. That's mechanic.
Good night, John boy.
Now sit down, you can have it.
Good night, Grandma.